Hey, check it. Snow Taylor. You know what I'm saying? King Louis the 17th. I'm about to read this. Wrote this 1/4/16. You know what I'm saying? By Timothy C. You know me. Taylor. Just my view of life, But here it goes. Everything that has a beginning has an end. So we come back to the day I can first remember. There was a conflict with my best friend. To this day, we still are. But we both lost, knowing that we're brothers from another mother to the end. Scorpion King, which states, live free, die well, representing the climax of that story. I mean, growing up was the best part of my life, I could honestly say, because the days were brighter, along with the darkest nights, even though we still knew how to have fun in the midst of darkness. But growing up together, I was led to realize that we were once so young, and yes, still are, but also remembering how to indulge ourselves in this youth of our lives while playing cops and robbers with bikes. Live Moss. It's just a new day, another sunrise. Coming home, laying to rest, to wake up and do it again. Always getting into trouble for staying out late, but it was worth it because it was, adolescent minds. I mean, they say it's better to have loved and lost than to have loved at all. Noticing that I've experienced both love and loss momentarily. That saying, if you really love her, let her go. Me letting her go, knowing that was the dumbest thing I could ever do. But her being happy was the only thing that mattered. Finding out that I couldn't be the one to always make her happy. Realizing she didn't love me the way I loved her. Noticing two options. I could walk in there and try to convince her not to leave, or I could just walk away, knowing she'd never truly know what I had to tell her. Finding out later, I regretted never telling her how I really felt when I thought I've already shown her everything. So me standing outside the doors, I couldn't enter. I suddenly felt this feeling of a pull on my back, and as if there was chains and the person on the other side was pulling. I was just done with trying to be the person, just done with trying to convince her and change everything by asking a question or saying something I knew I should have. I just wanted her to know so I didn't have to say something that would change the way she already was. So I just gazed upon her face one last time before going our separate ways, seeing her smile before I walked away, pondering if she truly know me in the end. And that to me may be the hardest thing anyone could ever do, but experiencing that love or experiencing that loss, wondering what's to gain while searching for something that means everything, trying to better myself, you could say transcend myself, understanding why the things are the way they are, to understand order or balance when the tables are constantly turning. I mean, the world's still rotating, we're just stuck inside, trying to find our way, swimming in this fishbowl with the waters tainted with false truths and sacrificed blood. Give me a second. I'm seeing the page is stuck and shit. Got you. Hold up, though. I'm sorry. I'm new to this. This nation that's apparently under God when the laws aren't even pertaining to God or even the Bible, which is in some cases the basic instruction before leaving Earth. It's just, you can't say you're about something and not really be about it. By lying to me, you're basically lying to yourself, because we have this word freedom that gives us the freedom to do whatever we want. So I think these legislators or the people who govern our laws have the audacity, the freedom to write them, so you, the people, have the option, the choice to follow them. I'm just saying, we wouldn't put a person in power so he could take advantage of his own position. We the people need to demand more from our government, because by abusing this power of authority over freedom, combined the thousands that died for not truly understanding why they fought and died for a word, liberty and justice for some, but for you to be ignorant or irrational, because you have the power to back up your own stupidity. You won't say what it is you're really thinking. I'd say you paraphrase the paraphrased. Abe knew that, but that was before he was silenced for making changes the positive way. But now in this modern life, things have become a little more real than anticipated. I mean, you can't determine how life's going to be or turn out through scientific notations or mathematic equations. I mean, I'm just a rational thinker because when I was younger, I was never worried about anything, just having fun. Playing hide and seek when no one could even see, running into cars because we scared each other, or I scared myself, but now we have this political drama. That I didn't really think or know was a problem that's escalated into something it's not. You could say monarchy, anarchy, etc. But for the most part, how could I say I have the answer when what I'm saying is just what I think I know is going on with other adults? I mean, we looked up to them literally all our lives, still really. But growing up finally brought clarity to my eyes. Me being level with almost everything, you start to see what others don't, realizing we're not so different in the end. We all want the same thing, and I think that's to be truly understood. Not worried about the next person doing something crazy so he or she could get the attention they didn't get in the beginning. So we have to call the cops or take it into our own hands so it's justified. But how could justice be served when we're giving them jurisdiction to kill or hold that bluff in their hands? Like life or death. You give or I take. You know that 9 milli you don't agree with, or my rationalities? I realized and say it's just because you have people backing you up on what's false or not so true. Because you have become confused. But not for long. For me, it's just, oh fuck.
I'm sorry for the confusion. I said I realized and say
It's just because you have people backing you up on what's false or not so true. So we become confused. But not for long. For me, it's as if they're playing with my head by displaying confusion amongst chaos to confine secrecy. Because we gave them the king's share, later realizing some were unworthy of power, which made them bloodthirsty, noticing that after we voted for them, the choice was clearly a mistake. But we had already made or submitted, and we didn't even get to sit in it, stating he was not qualified, no man should have that much authority triumphing over other kings, when finally noticing no one should rule over everything but God, which is this benevolent being. For me, it's more of an essence, like the wind, superior in all things, literally a conception that is hard to perceive. You must go beyond yourself, transcend in all material things, to finally be at the end of your journey, noticing that the last thing is to believe, denying you could ever see, when people didn't give you the credit for what you may know, contradicting you on what you did, and even what they think you didn't, denying the truth for whatever that is now. I'm confused. What is true? It's like fire. One part is red and the other blue.
just bear with me.
It's just, in my opinion, once you've obtained this power and freedom, you literally have everything. If you yourself or another doesn't have this power or freedom, they can't call his bluff or yours, such as a gun or a bottle of champagne, along with equivalent exchange. You know that saying, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye, or maybe a life, and most don't even bat an eye. It's compromise to me. That's a new understanding of that which was promised, but what was that? Because to have fun, in my opinion, may mean everything. To find a new understanding of life and its progression. I mean, to be something we already are, which to me would be everything, we just can't accept it being everything, because relevantly, it's too much relatively. Because we can't truly accept ourselves because we don't truly know ourselves, constantly making changes or edits while we sit here and contradict what already is everything. We, us, to ourselves, this nation under God. We just need each other so we can point out the flaws and the negatives instead of embracing them. because relatively we're two parts of one instead of being three pieces of one. So there are no longer any problems with each other. We simply become perfect beings that contradict everything. And so we get upset because we don't fully understand the true perfection of being beings that know everything, but hate on particular people about a particular problem to try to solve an issue that they have within themselves. The answer, I'd end this like this. We're gods that want to reign over other gods. That is the negative. But forgetting there is only one true God, which equals the positive. That's that which has made other gods, the balance between both. But in the end, we are all a part of Him, the one that made two, that made us, that sent His Son to die so we could be forgiven for being disobedient in the beginning. Because we are all sinners that fall short under the glory of God, realizing we'd have to truly embrace true negative and positive to embrace true perfection. Because we're the result of balance. You just decide how the tables turn, what side you're on. Because to rule over the world, you're going to need more than just your word. So where does time begin, where it doesn't end? How's it concur or relate to reality, when that might be the parallel between universes, or empathy of thought and understanding? To me, it would be sound, because that is what I'm most familiar with. But that which makes most sense, high, low, medium, beginning, middle, end. Because ultimately I'm going crazy, I'm fast, I'm lightning, crashing. No, never mind that. I'm fasting, craving, changing with every step. And yes, with the crease. And I smell like Febreze, cheese. Let's take a picture, please. D's, breeze, me, you, us together. Her features are feathers, will flap forever. This pleasure, the measure, I won't test her, because she got her and I got her. It's the best, and I won't flex unless it's nest. Don't forget or regret. Regress, compress, reheat, on beat. Can't breathe doesn't mean it's hard for me to be concrete with beauty. Her eyes, my mind, I'm blind, I hide. Emotionless under the definition of definitive. Republicans and some of the definition of one's true meaning. And that's breathtaking. She's breaking, I'm wrecking. They're testing, I'm checking. They're messing, I'm singing. We're dancing, I'm prancing. They're flexing, that's messing with my mind again. So my time is compromised. The light, the fight, and the dark in my heart combined with my essence, which is now tainted or left behind. I'm waiting for the others, or we're just waiting for each other. You could say that that's inevitable, if only we knew one another.
You know, they're like bars.
It's just, if we don't act or want to change for the better, we're going to end up angels with broken feathers. Like, how can we save ourselves if we can't even save each other? So this is the end, or just a greater beginning. Snow Taylor.